Afternoon, Kevin Goodman here, and this is episode 2, I believe, of Can I Write an Album?
What are you doing? Get off! I don't want to hurt you. Stop! I want to tell you to shoot it.
One, two, three. On the current song that I'm working on, which is Decreedance. So the idea behind this video, and it's a mix of a few days worth of work, so you'll see me in different t-shirts at some point, but so the purpose of the video is basically to outline just the start of the process, getting the guide tracks for vocal and guitar down. There's still at this point an open question as to whether or not the sort of baseline or starting point for this track is acoustic or a electric. I think it's going to be an acoustic based on most of the work I've done so far, which is in some of the coming clips. Cool, so that's the introduction. Hope you enjoyed the video. Just as a note, if you do, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm hopefully going to try and be doing these at least a couple every 2 weeks. I'll see how that plays out. Very new to it, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, yeah. So just wanted to talk briefly. I'm going to be setting up for the acoustic, which means I'm going to be using a Focusrite condenser mic that I got when I got the solo interface about 2 years ago, and a Shure SM57 beta, which I've had for years. I've used for a vocal live mic for a long time, from when I was back in a band, and then at sort of pub gigs and stuff. But I used that on the bridge and the Focusrite on the neck to get kind of a sound across both of those. Everything that I'm doing, I've essentially learnt in YouTube, right? It's quite an interesting part of this whole thing, is I'm documenting a process that I'm enjoying as I learn and go through it, and I'm learning all of the stuff from YouTube and then enacting it here, which is, quite enjoy all of that. I think it's a brilliant thing. But so whether it's Rick Beato, William Hurt, Colt Kapanen, any of those people that I've kind of subscribed to, thank you very much. But so I won't go into what gear I'm using. If people want to know, in the comments, if anyone watches this, then put it in the comments, ask me, and I will certainly happily do a video on it. But for now, that's the setup I'm going to be using for Decreedance, and I'm going to record it and go from there. So I wanted to go back over. So I tried recording this last night when I was doing the actual recording itself, but it turns out that the footage I took ended up with some, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I'm having to record it again. So it's not quite as immediate as it was last night. So, but I wanted to mention something that I find over and over again, and I don't know if this is something that's relevant to anyone else, but I thought I'd tell you anyway. And basically, I always go in with the intention, set the tempo, set the mics, get everything all ready to go, put the click track on, try and do a recording. And inevitably I do that, and I can keep time with the click. That's not necessarily the problem. But what I find is that if I do that, then it takes a while for me to really sort of nail the click and start to hear it as a groove, which it does, but it takes a while, and so to get a quicker result, quite often what I end up then doing is just pulling a virtual drummer out and creating essentially a click track, but with the drum kit. And because you can colour the sort of performance a little bit, like you can give it some dynamic, I just find it a lot easier to lock into. I also find as well is that a click, and I know you can change the frequencies, but a click I always find is much more apparent in as a bleed in a very quiet room. So the drum kit, because it's sort of softer, I think, in terms of the frequencies, it tends to not come through. I find on the mics if I'm recording something like acoustic guitar. So anyway, I thought I'd just mention that. So I think I've got a drum beat locked in that I can use. So I'm now going to go and record an acoustic version and an electric version based on the same sort of just backbeat, I suppose is that's what we could call it. Anyway, but so my dilemma is essentially still electric or acoustic as the main body of the track, but then also on top of that, I'm now listening back to the Langley Wood one. I love the energy of it, and I based the tempo of this one on it, and the way I think that one of the things I do like about this, and also the older version that I posted, is it's kind of relentless in its pace, and it doesn't. The dynamics are very minimal and really are based purely on the way that I think, in my opinion, the way the lyric moves, the melody of the lyric moves, and the bridge, and they pretty much do the work. It's either a very quick, fast, relentless song, which is, you know, no problem with that whatsoever, or I try and write more. So I take it from where it is now. It already has a bridge. Potentially that bridge could be extended. Vocals could be added to that bridge. There's some sort of background harmonies that James just kind of ooze in the Langley Wood version, which I really like. That could be extended out. There could be some strings. There could be a solo. I could pull that bit out and add to it. Recorded, right? I'll record a version on the acoustic. I'll record a version on the electric. I'll put maybe another little segment here at the end with the sounds of both of those. They'll be the same tempo, so it'll just be the tones, obviously, and the instruments that are different. But and then I'll wrap this one up. But yeah, so this is a listen of where I am with the acoustic guitar part and possible sort of beginnings of a drum track to go along with it. I'm going to play like 4 bars, which should be enough. So I'm going to play about 8 bars. That should be enough. Okay, so what you might notice there is the acoustic guitar part comes in at like a fraction of a beat late, but then immediately gets into time where I can. A slight amendment to what I was just saying. That was the second time I recorded the song, and the getting it on that particular beat was actually an accident. So I'd edited around. When I came in with the acoustic guitar, I was just very unsure of where to come in on the beat. The way I said it, it sounded like I immediately got into time and it was perfect from then on. I'm not suggesting that for a moment. It comes into time and I think it sits nicely in a pocket throughout the track. Yeah, I wasn't suggesting that it was perfectly in time straight away. Just that I recovered pretty quickly and managed to find a pocket. So I have this problem where I can't really go in and edit it and pull that. If I pull, or I don't know of a way anyway. I'm pulling that note out. I'm sure there absolutely is a way. I kind of don't want to know anyway, but the what happens then to it as it goes on is quite interesting. So I'm going to play it from where it comes in, so you can hear how it sounds basically. like where all of those accents are. So I've got the drum part now recorded to MIDI, so it's now just essentially a click track that just repeats and repeats. The acoustic guitar is recorded through the whole song as of the standard structure at the moment. I've tried layering an electric guitar over the top as pretty much basically just twiddling around as a solo over the top of the entire thing. There's some work, and I've recorded that, and there's some work to be done there. There might be a riff to be found. There might be some dynamics to be found in the electric guitar part. Some harmony. But that's going to be the end of this particular episode. So I'll work on the electric guitar part for the next one. Maybe work on the drums as well. Try and flesh that drum part out using the accents that I found. And yeah, so appreciate anyone who's watched this to the end, and hope it was fun for anyone who did, and see you again soon.